whatnot, this would be a nullifier for Islam. He said, لأنه بذلك يكون قد استباح ما حرم الله إجماعا. He said, because if he does so, he is making lawful and permissible what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared to be haram. Ijma'an, and this is by consensus. This is by consensus. Meaning ijma'. It is yani bil ittifaq, that ruling by other than what Allah has established, this is an act of disbelief. وَكُلَّ مَنْ اسْتَبَاحَ مَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولَهُ مِمَّا هُوَ مَعْلُومٌ مِنَ الدِّينِ بِالضَّرُورَةِ كالزنا والربا والخمر والحكم بغير شريعة الله إلى غير ذلك فهو كافر بإجماع المسلمين. He said, likewise, anyone that make it permissible, whatever Allah has made and declared to be haram, what Allah and His Messenger has declared to be haram, whoever makes it permissible, and from those matters that are what is called ma'lumum min ad-dini bid-darura, meaning those things that is known by necessity, those things that every single Muslim has to know, meaning a person is not to be, barakallah fikum, left ignorant about those things. These are what is called ma'lumun min ad-dini bid-darura. Give me an example of what is ma'lumun min ad-din bid-darura. Something it is known by necessity. Muhammad. Yes, the aqidah, that Allah is the only one to be worshipped. Muhammad. Making wudu before the salah. Aba Munira. Right, that knowing that there is no better guidance than the guidance of the Messenger. Aba Ismail, Aba Ibrahim. Huh? Right, knowing how to pray. It is ma'lum min ad-din bid-darura. Something you got in. When you say that, say the obligation of Hajj. Right? Fasting. No, you will say the obligation of Hajj, of fasting. The obligation of fasting. So, yep. The obligation, knowing the obligation of fasting. Knowing the obligation of Hajj upon those who, yani, the shurut fall onto them. Knowing that only Allah is to be worshipped without any partner. And these and the likes of this, the list is long, meaning that which is known as ma'lumu min ad-dini bid-darura. Those things that is a must to be known by necessity. That is to be known by necessity. It is a must to know it by necessity. So therefore, and he say whoever, and he say like those things that are known by necessity, like the impermissibility of riba, the impermissibility of adultery, and the impermissibility of khamr, of wine and liquor and the likes of this, and from all of this musakkarat, meaning the intoxicant and the likes of this. So knowing that it is haram, it is to be known by necessity. By all the believers, that it is a must to be known by necessity. So he mentioned, and likewise ruling by other than what Allah has legislated, and other than this. He say whoever made those things lawful, he say he is a disbeliever. And this is bi ijma' al-muslimin. It is by consensus of the Muslims. It is the consensus of the Muslims. قال الله تبارك وتعالى. Now it's time for the adillah to come. قال الله تبارك وتعالى. أَفَحُكْمَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ يَبْغُونَ. Do they seek the ruling of the pre-Islamic days of ignorance? وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ حُكْمًا. And who is better than Allah in ruling and setting up rulings? He say لِقَوْمٍ يُوقِنُونَ. For those who have barakallahu fikum yaqeen. Who is better than Allah in establishing and laying out rules and regulation? Who is better than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this? And without the doubt, the answer is what? Is nobody. Because the one that created the creation knows the creation more than the creation knows itself. The one that created you knows you more than you know yourself. Right? Likewise, in another verse in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. And whoever ruled by other than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated, he is or they are from the kafirun, they are from the disbelievers. And in another verse also in Surah Al-Ma'idah again, Allah Jalla wa Ala mentioned, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. And whoever ruled by other than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established, he is surely from the zalimun, the wrongdoers, the oppressors. And the last verse in that same note is وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. And whoever ruled by other than what Allah has legislated is surely from the fasiqun, the open evildoers. The open evildoers. But we will say, and inshallah, Shaykh Fawdan Hafidhahullah detail it in his book, we will come to meet that inshallah, that as the statement of Ibn Abbas, this refer to kufrun duna kufr. This is understood that it is a disbelief, but it is a minor disbelief. That is not taking the person out of the fold of Islam. And a minor disbelief is considered what? From the Abbas. لا كفر الأصغر. كفر الأصغر. Right. So هذا الشرك الأصغر يدخل في أي باب؟ في أي فن؟ في الصغائر الذنوب أو الكبائر الذنوب. نعم. كبائر أحسنت. So the كفر الأصغر, كفر الأصغر, the minor kufr is a major sin. The كفر الأصغر is a major sin. The minor kufr is a major sin. The minor disbelief is a major sin. The minor disbelief is a major sin. So kufrun duna kufr, Ibn Abbas say, meaning it is a disbelief that is not taking the person out of the fold of Islam, but rather it is making his belief to be naqis, and he is making his Islam to be likewise naqis. It is making his belief naqis, meaning deficient, and it is making, barakallah fikum, his actions, his Islam to be deficient. So we will come to those verses in detail when we will read the explanation by Shaykh Salih Al-Fawzan Hafidhahullah on our Saturday classes. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Allah Jalla wa Ala mentioned in Surah Ali Imran, Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. Verily, the only true religion with Allah is al-Islam. Verily, the only true religion with Allah is al-Islam. Verily, the only true religion with Allah is al-Islam. Because Islam is the only religion that no one is being affiliated to it. Meaning there is no person that is in it. For instance, when you say the Yahud, it is, barakallah, the tribe of the Yahud that is in reference to that. When you talk about Christianity, they will refer everything to Christ, Isa ibn Maryam. This is what they concentrate, even though Isa is free from them and they are free from Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. But Islam is the only religion whereas the action, it is solely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for no one else. Islam is the only religion that the action is being directed to Allah, and it is sought for Allah alone subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is done for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So therefore he say, Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam, that the only religion with Allah is al-Islam. So whoever go Yawm al-Qiyamah with another religion other than al-Islam, that you will be among the losers. وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا Muhammad. Huh? I already said it. وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, that he will never be accepted for him. Whoever will go Yawm al-Qiyamati with other than al-Islam, he say nothing will be accepted for you. Nothing will be accepted for you. Why? Because you have committed shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he mentioned, rahimahullah, وقال تعالى, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the same verse, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And whoever choose other than al-Islam as a religion, he say nothing will be accepted from him, and Yawm al-Qiyamah he will be from the losers, and he will be among the losers. Afakallah. Huh? Akhi, you are Arab. You should know this. La. Do the i'rab of غير. I didn't say you are Arab. I'm going to take it back. Do the i'rab of غير. Aywa. So if there is mudaf, then you have mudaf ilayhi. Aywa. So you will say غير الإسلامي. If you say mudaf, that's the issue is over. Because mudaf is, after that you have mudaf ilayhi. Right? So here he mentioned another verse in Surah An-Nisa. Allah Jalla Ala mentioned what can be translated to mean, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, and those who disbelieve in our verses, in our signs, in our verses, سَوْفَ نُصْلِيهِمْ نَارًا, and we will cast them in a hellfire. We will cast them in the fire. كُلَّمَا نَضِجَتْ جُلُودُهُمْ, and any time that their skins is burnt out, he say بَدَّلْنَاهُمْ جُلُودًا غَيْرَهَا, we will replace their skin with other skin, with a fresh skin, with a new skin. And there is a wisdom behind it, barakallah fikum. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, لِيَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابِ, so they can taste the punishment. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَزِيزًا حَكِيمًا, for verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Almighty, Hakiman, and the most wise. So in this verse, Allah Jalla wa Ala informs us of three matters. Number one, for those who disbelieve in the verses of Allah, that they will be in the hellfire. Number two, how they will be in the hellfire. كُلَّمَا نَضِجَتْ جُلُودُهُمْ, that any time that they will be burnt till their skin is burnt out, بَدَّلْنَا, we will change. جُلُودًا غَيْرًا, we will change to other, we will give them a new skin. For what purpose? لِيَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابِ, so they will taste the punishment. And the third issue that Allah informs us of is إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَزِيزًا حَكِيمًا, that Allah is the Aziz, He is the most, the powerful one. He is the Almighty, yes, Hakiman, and He is the most wise. Meaning wise in what? In His judgment, barakallahu fikum. And Aziz, and He is the most high the most high and the most magnificent in regard to providing for them the punishment that is due for them. And as today, barakallahu fikum, that the people of science, they have benefited greatly from this verse. Because what you call the nerve terminals, it is on the skin. Meaning your skin is where you will feel the pain. It's not the flesh, but rather the skin that is on the top of you. That's why if a person have like a 3rd degree of burn, you are the one that is feeling the pain. Because ever since the skin is gone, technically, barakallah, there is no pain that they're feeling no more. طيب. وقال تبارك وتعالى, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala